Hello, welcome, this is Pomman of the Token Minorities, and this week I'm just going to be giving a short run through of some of the things that have been happening on Smogon over the last little while that I've not been covering. Starting with the fact that UU is suspect testing Mega Alakazam, and that is what is going to be providing the backdrop for today's video as well. Now, Mega Alakazam is being suspect tested based on not so much any actual brokenness, but much more the fact that it is potentially unhealthy for the tier's development, and potentially holding back the tier, basically. Now, there are arguments and counter-arguments to them. I'm not going to pretend that I know UU well enough to give a brilliant synopsis of them. I play UU probably the least of all the official metagames, including Little Cup and PU, so that should say something on how well I know it. And I wouldn't feel like I would be doing the arguments for and against it justice if I was to be paraphrasing everything that I was reading in the actual suspect thread. As a result of this, I apologise, I had to sneeze and I wanted to cut that out because I didn't want to destroy your ears, and I'm just going to pause it. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze, and as a result of that, I might have had to pause the video slightly. So, yes, I'm going to leave a link to the discussion thread down below where you can read all of the arguments made by people who actually know UU as opposed to me. But from what I've read, it appears to be based on, does Underused want to go for a objectively better metagame, or do they want to go with a metagame wherein nothing is broken? And that is it's a very fundamental difference between the two aspects, and it's one that pretty nicely leads into my next point. PU, the latest official metagame, have wanted to ban Dynamic Punch from Machoke in the PU tier. Now, Machoke is the best Pokemon in PU probably, and it's not something they want to suspect. It is something that is objectively healthy for the tier. How fast am I? Slower than Adamant Performance. And they don't want to test something that is objectively, it's a good thing for the tier. It's keeping various things like Pawnyard in check, it's helping the tier out in that regard, it's not being too strong with it. I had to roar that in case it was a nasty pass Celebi. It is not, but oh well. And it's only potentially unhealthy when used alongside Dynamic Punch, because of Dynamic Punch potentially giving it the opportunity to break through any of its non-ghost checks. But they faced a fair amount of resistance. There's a policy review thread where you can look over all of the arguments, but the largest argument is essentially that you can hear the rain. That is not the largest argument. The largest argument is that we try not to nerf Pokemon. It's why we've banned Blaziken, it is why we've banned Greninja, and it's why we've banned everything that we have banned. Giga Drain, Nasty Plot, just by the way, I feel like it's either Baton Pass or Recover. And if it's the, I don't want to give Sylveon a free switch in. If I go for another yes. Okay, now he's got a Baton Pass forward, he's got to just attack me. So hopefully we catch him on the switch into Sylveon and we can do a huge amount of damage. Don't get paralyzed. Thank you. Okay. I'm just deciding what to sack here, like there's no. Cresselia is honestly pretty useless after this, so yeah. But nothing was living that. Oh shit, please tell me this is not in fact a Scarf Sylveon. If it is, I'll be very unhappy. No, it isn't, because we can't mind it earlier. Anyway, we don't nerf Pokemon. as a general rule, if a Pokemon is too strong, we suspect test it, and if it's not too strong, then it remains unbanned or it doesn't get suspect tested in the first place. But we do not suspect test parts of Pokemon. There are a number of reasons for this, chief among them being... oh shit, that killed. That is not actually chief among them, that's just something that I'm observing as I'm playing this game. And I'm just going to scout out the damage, see how much Psyshock does. What on earth was I saying? As he goes out into Celebi, oh shit, he's going to have Thunder Wave and Nasty Pass and all that lovely shenanigans. Calm Mind up, and then we'll blast. Yay. Regardless. That is really annoying, because this is really difficult to win now. Yeah, this is not something we can win, because of a Giga Drain crit. That's always lovely to see. But, oh well. So, they've been rather adamantly said no to in the thread about if they can or cannot just ban Dynamic Punch or complex banning things, because we don't want to set a precedent where that is okay. And there have been a number of good arguments as to why we should and shouldn't do it. Why is there a Golem in my screen? And yeah, Golem is PU, so I'm a little bit confused as to why that's on my screen. But that thread has subsequently led into a confusion thread, wherein it was a consensus. No, that's not quite what I wanted to say. There was a group decision that whether or not Dynamic Punch should be banned is based on whether or not Confusion should be banned. And if Confusion should be banned, Dynamic Punch should be banned. If Confusion should not be banned, Dynamic Punch should stay. And... okay, he didn't switch out into his 100% counter. I would have personally preserved the Azelf just to get off a late explosion. I have Fortress, I have Fable, I have everything. Is Leaf Storm not killed? This feels like something Leaf Storm should just kill outright. Or at least make it so it can't belly drum. Yeah, that's not a belly drum. Anyway, now just to go out to Fortress and spike up. Oh, he's drain punching. Okay, well, if you're letting me rapid spin, then I'll take that. Anyway, the Dynamic Punch issue is Confusion competitive? And by that we mean, is it something that we want to get rid of in our actual official metagames? Is it something that we feel is a problem to the extent that we should put in a clause similar to Sleep Clause and Oko Clause and Moody Clause? You can see them all up here at the start of every game on Pokemon Showdown, so that confusion moves that are 100% guaranteed to confuse a Pokemon, such as the combination of No Guard and Dynamic Punch or Confuse Ray, would thus be banned. This is drawing comparisons to things like Swagger, and it's not something I'm personally very interested in, to be quite honest. I don't care whether we do or do not ban specifically Confusion, but if we are not banning Confusion as a whole, I do feel like Dynamic Punch should not be banned on Machoke, just to nerf a Pokemon. But a lot of things have been suggested as reasons that Dynamic Punch should be allowed by the PU community to be complex banned, and chief among them is the fact that we have complex bans already. This is not a new thing, and one of the big ones is the baton pass clause. And seeing that be used as an argument as to why PU should be allowed to have their Dynamic Punch banned, and seeing the discussion go towards it, as well as seeing the fact that in the current NU discussion thread, there are people who want to outright ban the combination of Baton Pass plus Speed Boost, yet another thing that Baton Pass has that is broken. I really couldn't take it anymore, and I just decided to create a new policy review thread, again, this one on the topic of Baton Pass, so that we can actually get round to the actual root of the problem. I've felt this way for a long time, and I feel like Baton Pass as a whole should just be banned in competitive play on Smogon. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't have non-harmful uses, things like Celebi baton passing out of things like Tyranitar, so it's not pursuited, and Bisharp, so it's not pursuited, and dry passing for momentum on choice sets such as Sylveon. They are all acceptable, non-broken forms of Baton Pass. But Baton Pass has been nerfed 4 times now. I mean, if we're looking at it from the standpoint of UU, first of all, there were no restrictions. You could use Baton Pass on 6 different Pokemon. Then, it got tested, and you could only use it on 3 Pokemon. That was the group consensus. After that, they then decided, that's still broken, we'll restrict it even further so that you can only use it on 1 Pokemon per team. Then, for UU, even then, there were Pokemon that were too good at baton passing and they were banned, such as Venomoth and Smeargle. After that, we're now looking at cases in admittedly NU and not UU. Oh no, there's one step I missed out, my apologies, in that we've now banned all forms of passing when you've boosted speed and another stat as well. So that's 4, and the discussion in NU implies that there's a potentially new broken aspect of it, again, already. This has been not even a year since the last time we saw to... What? I'm not seeing things, am I? That is in fact a bulk upping Machamp. Okay. To Cresselia I go to Moonblast. Can't mind. These Dynamic Punches I'll get confused and won't be able to hit him twice. So, he's really bulky. And that was a crit. Wow, okay. Anyway. I have been, personally, really frustrated that we are going to such extreme efforts to keep a clearly broken move in the metagame for next to no net gain, and while it's being used to justify a lot of complex bans, the Dynamic Punch and PU being the most notable. Now, I get that there are non-broken forms of Baton Pass, I get that, but when you have Scolapass, when you have Geopass, when you have full Baton Pass chains, when you have 3 Baton Pass chains, when you have so many instances of this being too good, Gliscor Pass back in DPP, and Geopass has been a more recent innovation, but Smeargle in general was banned for being too good at passing, including Smash Passing as well on that list. All of these iterations have one thing in common: Baton Pass. And Baton Pass, no matter how many times we've attempted to nerf it, it has always found a way back into the metagame. It's always found a way to just go, hi, I'm back again, I'm still broken, you can't get rid of me even if you try. And I can't stand that. I can't stand the extent to which... Ooh, that was a crit. Yay. I can't stand the extent to which we're going to keep a broken move, objectively broken. It has been broken 8 or 9, if not more times, already. And we're going through it so that Celebi doesn't get trapped by Tita. And we're allowing all of these broken strategies to exist for no reason. And this one's just a power. So, yes, I'm very much arguing in favour of a baton pass ban. Just an outright blanket ban on the move. And there are counter-arguments. Of course there are. There are always counter-arguments. Most notably, things like it's not broken in its current form in OU, it's not been broken when the abusers weren't too strong, but it's been an issue since Generation 2. We had to complex ban a situation so that Misdreavus could not pass a trapped Pokemon to something else, because it was just too good. Baton Pass has been the one move, I would say as far as, if not more so than Sleep Claws, that we have contorted our entire metagames around, and it's just repeatedly come back again and again and again to prove its brokenness, and we've just let it. And that has resulted in a rather sour feeling, and I just want it gone at this stage. I don't care that there are innocent things that are going to be collateral. Baton Pass has proved it is too good to keep around. It will always find a way of returning to prominence, returning to brokenness. And it's a good thing that my computer is running out of battery now, because this is about to be the end of the episode, but I just really do think that it should be banned in its entirety. And if you want to check out the discussion that's happening there, I will leave a link to that thread as well in the description. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It will end as soon as Smogon kills the Arcanine. So, once again, this has been Pom of the Token Minorities, and I will see you all next in a moment. I will see you all once again next time. You're really gonna... Fine then, Smogon doesn't get the kill. Sometimes I really don't get why people do this. Anyway, for the third time now, see you all next time. Ban Baton Pass. GG.